Just testing out my volume right now. God, my voice is crap at the moment. We're going to talk a little bit about tree growth and structure. So, got this tree on the back of my property, and it's perfect for this type of thing. Got a few visitors. Magpies are back. They're here every day. There's 4 of them. And we got kookaburra. Right there. Right. There. So our school's meant to be going back to, like, moving into phase 1 next week, which is kids coming in 1 day a week in the morning and year 12s in the afternoon and that sort of stuff. And in order to remain working at home, which I want to do for the moment, but I want to rush back to work, I needed to call my doctor. And while I was talking to my doctor, I was telling her about the fact that I keep losing my voice. I'm finding it hard to breathe. At times I've got a lot of tightness in my chest, and I'm getting breathless and having a hard time breathing. Like, I shouldn't get out of breath walking up the stairs at my house, but I have been. And I've developed this cough that's just dry and like no mucus, no nothing, just a irritating dry cough, and not even a tickle, just dry. She just said to me, you need to go and get tested for COVID. So I'm driving up to the hospital to see if I can get tested for COVID-19. She said, you might just have picked up something else, but she said there is a lot of other stuff going around, so it'd be best to get tested so that you can clear your mind, especially if I'm meant to be going back to school. They're expecting all staff to be back at school. The department has changed their policy, and they've just decided, schools are safe places, all staff should be back. They've even said if you live with someone who's in a vulnerable category, that doesn't count anymore. They just want staff back, and I think they're rushing. There was a news report on Monday of a young boy testing positive, and that school's been shut down for deep cleaning and essentially quarantining. So much for kids not getting it. COVID testing at the hospital is, there's a sign. They're trying to keep people out of the emergency department. I rang them and they said, yeah, there's these little tents, and I can see the tents now. So in I go. The doctor said, when you go in, you'll need to be wearing a mask. But that's all right, because I already know you wear masks everywhere. Like when I get back in the car, these come off. And when I get home, everything's just got to go in the wash. Including this. Chuck the filter. I wasn't all that concerned at first. While standing there talking, I kept getting more and more out of breath while I was, just like I am a little bit now. While they were sort of questioning me outside, I was getting more and more out of breath, which got the nurse concerned. Geez, didn't that help my anxiety? And I tell you what, it wasn't long, having that little swab thing thrown in the back of your throat for 10 seconds while they turned it around, and then right up the back of your nasal passage, 10 seconds while they turns it around. That was not comfortable. But they marked it urgent. They marked it urgent because just while I said, get up there and you just start talking and answering your questions. And I think just walking from here around there got me out of breath. And then when I'm trying to talk, I'm like this, I feel tight in my chest. My nose is irritated from that swab. But he started to get concerned because of the needing to take a breath mid-sentence and stuff like that. And the voice disappearing while I'm talking. I really don't think I have COVID-19 because I've been trying to isolate myself for so long. Like we've been doing our shopping online so that we don't go out and getting stuff delivered, and we've had that stuff for the renovations being delivered. Everything's being delivered, and the delivery drivers are coming on and they keep their distance and all that sort of stuff. When I go out with my mask on. If I forget to take gloves as soon as I've carried the stuff around, I'll wash my hands like crazy. But I have heard instances where they've said people have picked up COVID off surfaces, and that's what really concerns me. Because those delivery things, how many hands have they touched? I'll leave the mask on now so I'm not... I've got to wash this when I get back. They asked me if I had more filters for it, more cartridges, and I said yes, because they were going to give me just a little medical mask. But I think woodworking filters are probably a little, like, they're good. They're meant to keep stuff out. And this is the time for cruise control. Make sure the car just maintains its speed right. Being told to come to the hospital to get tested, and the reactions of the nurses has made this whole thing feel even more real. I think I'm going to be absolutely filled with anxiety and concern for the next 48 hours. I love cruise control. Several years back, my wife and I travelled over to California, and the car we hired had cruise control. And it was so beautiful, because I've never owned a car with cruise control before this. I want to go for a drive to my dad's just so I can use it, because there's like these long 1 hour stretches in between towns. Cheeky bugger cockatoos up the top of the tree, chewing at the seed pods. And dropping them on the car. Little buggers. I just noticed that there's 4 up there. They usually mate for life, so there might be 2 pairs. Still cheeky buggers. I could still do stuff dropping on my bloody ute. I don't know about you, but this earthenware packaging, there's meant to be air in this stuff. I just pulled these out of the box around some stuff that my wife ordered. That's the only one with air in it. It's barely got any air in it. What's the point of that? Who remembers what I said about my backyard and bare feet? Hopefully all the little spiders are in bed underground at the moment. I just brought the boys down. Ooh, sorry, Sam. Exploring a bit more today. Yeah, that's where the hole was. I actually woke up at like about 2:30 in the morning, I think it was, 3 o'clock. And I just decided to step outside and see what the sky looked like. Walked out on the deck. As soon as I walked out on the deck, I heard a kangaroo or a wallaby just bound away in the next door neighbour's yard, since they can't get into ours now. Whereas their yard, as you can see, still looks like bush, and they've got no back fence. Making slow progress with getting this bamboo ripped out. There's still a lot of little clumps there, because you can obviously see it on the other side of the fence. There's a new one just there. New little shoot popping up here. It's when I see those that I can basically chop down with a mattock and find the runners and pull them up. They seem to be coming up a little bit easier at the moment, not sure why. It's Friday and it's coming up to lunchtime. In about 40 minutes it'll be lunchtime by the school timetable. I have got a Year 12 class via Classroom running at the moment. Did a few of those videos and got them all edited for the kids to sort of unpack the unit that we're doing at the moment. And I'm going to do I want to do another one or two, trying not to make them too long, to go through some of the knowledge that they'll need to know for that part of the course. And I did a similar thing for Year 9. Did a couple of, one was more of a lecture, and the other one I went out and talked about trees and their structure and the inside of logs and that sort of stuff with what I just had lying around my yard. Published that for them to be able to use that as information rather than having to read, and then they can respond to me the way they want to. So giving a little bit more flexibility to the kids during this interesting time. Now, our school goes into phase 1 next week. My aim is still to be working from home for the next 2 weeks and teaching the kids remotely if they do show up to school, the Year 12s. Because they'll be in a room where they can all be on the computers and we can do a video conference. After a couple of anxious days, I got my COVID-19 test results back last night. Negative, which is excellent news, which means I've picked up something else somewhere, and it's kind of making me just hang on, like it's not developing, except for the breathing difficulties and the loss of my voice. Getting a bit more work done. Going to get a couple more videos for the kids. The beautiful weather that's outside is hopefully going to remain over the weekend, because our greenhouse got delivered during the week, and then the locking down like the tie down system for it also got delivered. I'm hoping to get that all set up tomorrow so that we can start planting our veggies. That's kind of exciting. I haven't had a veggie patch for years, and it was quite successful, so hoping for the best here as well. Gonna have a meeting with my staff at lunchtime today. Catch up with you tomorrow, maybe on the weekend. Well, that was an interesting 7 hours in hospital. Just trying to find out why my breathing is so laboured. They were saying that some of the levels were coming up fine. Did blood work, did x-rays of my lungs, and that came back okay. My oxygen readings looked fine. So they did a blood oxygen reading and they said it was really low. So he said, your arteries are really small and it was hiding behind a vein. I think I might have just hit the vein. So they did another one on the other side and again came back, your oxygen level's really low. There was numbers on their charts that made them think that no, they'd gotten the artery, and so I had a really low oxygen count in my blood. So they actually did a CT with contrast to check for of my lungs, to check for blood clots, and they came back fine. My heart's fine. Blood pressure was good, which was good because it was high at the doctor's 2 weeks ago. My blood pressure was good, my oxygen was good. And they tried again to do a blood reading for my oxygen. Your artery's hiding behind your vein. Stick. We think we've got it. We just got to wait for it to fill the vial because they don't suck it out. They let the artery fill it. And they took it away and then they came back. Your oxygen's perfect. It's fine. In the meantime, I asked them to look at my throat. And they said, yeah, your throat's a bit red, like you've from a virus. So it looks like I've just got a common cold virus affecting my throat and my trachea, and that's it, because I'm not getting fever. Well, I have had mild fevers, but no phlegm, no running noses, no hacking cough, just this dry, annoying cough. Well, at least it's not COVID. Quarter to midnight, Friday night. I got here around 5. Well, my intention today was to try and put up the greenhouse. But my wife wants to have the final say on where it goes, which is a good thing. So, yard needs weed whacking, front yard needs weed whacking. She's basically just said to me, I look like crap. If I do that, that's all I do for the day. I need to go and lie down. Just feeling unproductive if I do that, but I guess I need to.